Welcome to IJDM, a quick look at BBSs today on your home network and wireless. The only thing hooked up on these two laptops is power. Otherwise, they are running off of my wireless network, as you can see on the bottom of the screen. And the reason I decided to do this was because with the retro computers, I had to hook up the serial cable to each laptop, a null serial cable, and then interconnect them through Windows 95 through the direct connection and all that. And it was kind of a pain in the ass lugging that around. And plus, if I want to trip somewhere, I went to a friend's house, I'm kind of getting nervous about transporting those old vintage laptops around. So I'd rather just kind of sit on display when I'm not using them and not really, bring them out when I don't need to. And I do enjoy playing some of these old ANSI type graphic games because it's just kind of puts you off of the modern technology into an era when we didn't have this. This is what people did back in the day in the 80s when they played games over the internet, which they did do. And most of it was through ANSI graphics, as my Dove echoes what I'm saying. I think he's agreeing with me. So for this, what we did is we set up SBBS. I got this program ages ago and actually set it up ages ago, but there is a setup routine where it goes through and asks you all your settings, and then you add your games into your games directories. We'll show here on this screen on the directories under SBBS. There it is, SBBS, and then it would be under exec? No. Under extern. Yeah, and there's all the games there, and you set them up. Basically, there's usually instructions and tells you how to do it to set them up as what they call door games on the BBS. And when you're finished, there's two ways to run this program. There is a Windows type version, and then there's like a DOS one, but we'll fire up the Windows one in this case just because it's a little more visually, other than a bunch of text appearing on the screen like the DOS one does. And you can run them both at the same time, but for this case, we're just going to open up SBBS control. And there it is. There is all the stuff. On here is all the open nodes waiting on calls. On this side is your mail and web server, which I'm not really using those per se. The Telnet server, and then all the other services running. I did try this working from the outside of my network, and within a few minutes of doing it, it just turned into be a complete train wreck. I was getting all kinds of weird logins from China and Russia and all these strange things going on, so I had to shut down the port I was using to allow for you to connect to the BBS, because I was actually thinking about having this up full time. I just got to figure a safer way to do it in modern terms, and if it's even worth it. There are a lot of BBSs out there that probably have pretty much the same thing I'm offering, which is just a few games really. So now that we got this running, we obviously want to go ahead and I want to log in. Yes, so I used to call this whatever network, and that's fine. And so we will go ahead and do the login. And I skipped a screen. I just skipped forward because on that login, because obviously I had some of my personal information on there, which I do not want to give out. And what we're going to do on this side is do a connect through the hyper terminal, which is more than capable. And I can't be in two places at once, so I'm just going to use a login I created for my wife. Okay, and they're both connected to each other, so they're both on the same one. This obviously is the server and running a terminal session, and then this one's running a terminal session remotely connected to this computer, so you know what's going on. So let's just get into different things you can do. You can message, you can see who's online, you can do different things, but we're in here for the games. So in this case, we're going to go to the file system, and I am using the Synchronet Rene clone. Anyways, no, I went to the wrong area. So how do I go back to the main menu? Main menu to go backwards. Quit to main area. There we go. All right. I just hit the wrong one, so let's. The one I should have went on to, I believe, is online system. Yes, online system, and then games. I don't do this very often. And let's just start up a thing of, I might have showed Battleship in another thing, and it takes me placing all the ships, or some of these games you can just get started, like for instance, Connect 4. So we're just going to hit 8 for Connect 4, and bam, there it is. That's the game running in the glorious ASC2 graphics, and yeah, I have a human opponent waiting on another node. So it'll wait a certain determined time until somebody else connects, which will be this computer. So I'm going to hit 8. There it is. And it's waiting for this computer to play. So we will go ahead and make a move on this. So let's just go 3 there. And then it should appear on the right screen. Bam, there it is. So then it's this player's turn. So I'm going to go ahead and just hit 4. And then it'll show up on this screen. And this is just one example of a very simple game, but if more for the nostalgia factor and keeping in mind when you connect with a BBS, it could be halfway across the world, or it could be the next town over or city over. It could be 10 states over or wherever. And you could connect and play a game with a relative or friend halfway across the country. And that was the idea of this. And back in the 80s, you really didn't have the type of games you have now. It was a total different thing. You were actually connecting to smaller individual BBS services and smaller internet ISP providers back then. It wasn't like it is now, where you have, you know, a cable modem or satellite or what have you coming into your house, and you can play all these fast games. You had very limited bandwidth. In most cases, it was barely even 1200 baud. I think these games were designed right around 12 or 24 range. As you can see, it was copyrighted in 93, but I think that was the last update of this game by Richard Paquette, which did a lot of these games I like to play because they're just easy to set up and get running. So you just go back and forth, 4, and then bam. And it's like, yeah, okay. And there was other games you could play, and let's go into one more. I'm not going to go too long. I'm actually on my lunch break from work right now, and I'm waiting on a file to transfer from one of my servers, so it's going to take another 5 minutes. So I have exactly a couple minutes left to go ahead and go into another game. So let's go ahead and do that. And some of these games, Food Fight, some of them are 1-player, some are 2-player. Battleship is obviously 2-player. Most of the ones, I think 5 through 11 or 12 are multiplayer games, even 13, 14 maybe. I don't think 14 is actually. But let's just go into checkers. Why not? I mean, we could do chess, but I haven't played chess in so long. I don't know if I even remember. So yeah, this is ready to go, and this is waiting on another player. We're gonna hit the enter key. So sometimes you can hit the enter key. It must be sometimes you gotta nudge it a little bit. Maybe that's a setting or whatever. So it's waiting for this person to move. So here's where you got to think a little bit, because you're not using your mouse. Your mouse isn't going to work and do anything in this case other than highlight the screen, which is totally useless in any sense. So what we'll do is, let's see, am I the top or the bottom? These are all the same color. Oh, these are the checkers, and those are the other. Okay, I see. So which side is red and which side is white? Well, I'm guessing this side is white, so I'm going to go... would it be from C1 to okay, D2? Yeah, there. So that moved, and then that moved on the player board over here, and then I must have hit something on the keys over here at one point. So then this player can go, which is the red, so it would be C7 to D8, and there you go. So in a case where I don't know if they make you jump or not. I know in some versions of checkers you have to jump, some you don't. So we'll go F6. Oops, no wait, it's just this person's turn first. So we'll go from C3 and just do a stupid mistake here to D4 just to see the jumping process. So that creates a jump opportunity. Is it a force is my question. Is it going to make you... Yes, see, it forces you to jump, because I think in most rules of checkers you have to jump if the opportunity is presented. So that just did whatever it had to do to complete the whole thing of what was going on with the jumping thing. So if I, for instance, moved another one of my pieces or players or whatever in another position and made them jump on this side, then it would automatically occur. Okay, well, I guess I relearned checkers. Do you want to quit? No, I don't want to say this game. Anyhow, that is it for this edition of IJDM. If you like this video, you can go hit the thumbs up. If not, well, you can hit the thumbs down too. That's fine. Feel free to make your comments, or if there's an old BBS game you'd like to see, maybe we do something with it in the future. But I felt this was just something worth covering, that it's kind of an alternative thing and kind of a look back, but it's also kind of nice, and like it's kind of reminds you of simpler things, even though setting this stuff up, it wasn't necessarily simple. It was relatively simple to connect, get an account, and then play games against each other halfway across wherever. So it was kind of a neat thing. We'll see you next time.